it will be free stuff. And to be honest with you, who can argue with that? Now, there are essentials and then there are essentials. There are some no arguments, must-have items which you need in your accommodation. Whether you have a full camper van, just a mattress in the back, a tent, or anything else which you may use. Some of these items will give you a better camping van life experience, make it more comfortable, more pleasurable. Some will save you money, and some could even save your life. I have an item which you should have, and you probably will have, but many of you might have the wrong one. I want you to tell me in the comments what I've forgotten. What is your favourite item? What could you not go caravaning, motorhoming, camping without? And there is an item here I want your opinion of. I haven't actually used it myself, but I'm interested in buying it and I want to see what you think. I was talking to a new subscriber the other day and they asked me to make this video, as although there are loads of other videos, and I've actually done some myself, there isn't really one catering for any basic essentials. There are lots of videos talking about nice to haves like the amazing portable coffee machine which I've got, the stoves, solo stoves which I have and I absolutely love them, power stations, cooking pans. But for those that are new to van life, the camper van lifestyle, then there needs to be basics. So he said that he wanted a basic video to start from scratch. So today I'm giving you a starting point of what you must have and some other things which you might find useful, with something I believe everyone should have, but most of you don't. Yeah, it could save you in a huge way. Let's start off boring, but actually at the same time, it's something which you should have. There are items the conversion company will have included. Well, they really should have, but do make sure that you've got them. If not, get them today. Get down to your local leisure shop or on the internet maybe. A few things that you should have it fitted to your van already before you even drive it away. And these are smoke detectors and carbon monoxide alarms. These are required even in tents. And unfortunately, previous events have actually shown that to be an absolute fact. With technology developing, these units are now available with 10-year batteries that are completely sealed within these casings. Some people like ones with display screens on the carbon monoxide alarm, which includes the current temperature as well. I'll put a few links below of some of the items, but not all of them, because what I'm talking about today is what you should have, not actually specifically the exact items, because we've all got different budgets and we've all got different tastes. And for some of these, I want to hear what you think is best. The links which I'm going to provide are for Fire Angel, which is a reputable brand. For some items on your list, you could try and find some cheaper products, but with these safety critical items, I certainly wouldn't be going down any budget routes. Same for the next, which is a fire extinguisher. Without going into great detail of the exact specifications, more on that in a video coming soon. The one I use is the Fire XO7 in one, because it's effective at extinguishing fires of different types, including electrical fires and oil fires. And additionally, and I do mean in addition, by both, not just one or the other, is a fire blanket. This is a method which extinguishes a fire with far less mess. And with both of these methods though, a huge factor is location. If you have a typical layout like I've got behind me, with the kitchen in the middle of the van, then you don't want the fire extinguisher at the rear of the van, or maybe in the passenger footwell. That's amazing if you have multiple fire extinguishers, but if you've only got one, then you should have it in an easily accessible place of that potential fire. And it's the same with a fire blanket. No point having that in the bottom of your cupboard. So in this particular van here, this is actually pre-PDI. It's not actually been through that yet. So it's not got the fire extinguisher installed. But I do know that on this NCC approved van, then the fire extinguisher is going to be placed there at the end of the kitchen unit. And then the fire blanket is going to be placed at the end of the unit there, where it's telling you that this is an NCC approved manufacturer. It's about keeping them in the easily accessible locations. I would expect the smoke and carbon monoxide alarms to be supplied by the converter, and the other items which I've got coming up next, if they're not included, then at least they should be offered, because some of these can actually be overlooked. And that's a hookup cable. A hookup cable will be needed if you do need to go get electricity on site. Seems a bit of an odd one, like the fire extinguisher and the alarms, but not all converters include them. If you're buying one on the used market, for instance, the seller may have removed it because they might want to be putting it in the new van. I actually saw a post a couple of months ago on, I think it was Facebook or something, just arrived on site and realised that the van didn't come with a hookup cable. Where can I buy one from? Not exactly ideal. You need to be thinking about that before you leave. Yes, there are places, but if you've got that on site in the middle of nowhere and then realise need a hookup cable and it's late at night, you're not going to be able to get one. And something else which you might need when you get on site. Unless you're lucky enough to have bought a van with self-leveling suspension, like the VB Air suspension, then you may be needing leveling ramps to ensure that your van is going to be flat whilst you're on site. You don't want your belongings rolling around because you've parked on a slope, or your sink not draining properly because you're at an angle. Or what a lot of people don't know is if you do have an underslung gas tank like this van has, if it's at too great of an angle, then you're not actually going to be able to operate that gas. So leveling ramps really are ideal to make sure that the van is nice and level. And that leads on to another aspect of these essentials, and that's having a checklist. I'm currently creating a checklist and a few other exciting things to come. I'm really quite excited about it, to be honest. So do subscribe if you want to be one of the first to be alerted to that. It will be free stuff, and to be honest with you, who can argue with that? And it's free to subscribe, so why not subscribe? And if you do like this, give it a like as well. And additionally, I've just seen something in here that I'm not actually allowed to talk about just yet. So do look out for that. I'm going to be bringing a video on that very, very soon. Moving on to another item which you should have, and that's a first aid kit. But what you have in it is going to be totally dependent on where you are going and how long you're going to go in for. Every vehicle should be having just at least a basic kit. So whether that's just basic plasters and bandages, antiseptic creams, bite creams, possibly some painkillers as well. You know, you're going to be using this van for outdoors, more than likely. I think 98% of us do use them for outdoor lifestyle. Activities such as walking, cycling, paddleboarding. So you don't really know what's going to be happening to you. So you might need that first aid kit, a basic cut or a graze, or what could be more likely a bite from an insect. And that leads me on to the next thing, and that's midge and mosquito repellent. Now this is one which is a light which I have used, and it works really, really well because it's a light and the mosquito as well. But something which I keep seeing time and time again, over and over again on the Facebook page, whatever, and that's Flextail. Flextail have got a midge and insect repellent, and also a ton of other products. Have you seen them? Have you used them? You know, can you recommend something like that? They've got loads and loads of products. Tell me what you think. Tell me if it is something which I should be looking at. See, you're here to help me as well. I want to hear your opinions too. And a lot of you have got some fantastic opinions, and they often do quite differ from one person to the next due to our varying different tastes, which we all have, and obviously our budgets as well. And this is often highlighted by our comfort preference when it comes to mattresses. You guys often recommend Duvalay, Naps or Panda mattress toppers. I personally can only speak for the Duvalay, which I absolutely love. Used it and love it. I've not needed to change to anything else. But whatever your choice is, it's something which you need to put on your list. If the bed in your camper van isn't soft enough, then you might not be going to have a good night's sleep, and that is essential for some people. And also, to ensure that you have a good night's sleep, you will need a duvet, a sleeping bag or a blanket. More on that in the next few months. But for now, don't forget, take whatever your choice of cover is, take it with you on your checklist. Make sure you've got it and tick it off. And a few more basics which you can tick off your list before I come on to some items which you might not have thought of. Here are some of the more obvious ones, but actually with some good ideas. You're going to need to eat and drink, which means you're going to need some vessels in which to drink from. Loads and loads of different options here, but some great ideas here are non-slip plates, bowls and mugs. They're great as they don't move around easily on the surfaces. I showed this in my video about campervan with a difference, a video which I did a few months ago. Really useful if your table's uneven or you've parked upon a slope. Non-slip isn't the only option for this though, because another popular option is the magnetic cups, plates and even glasses as well. Arguably an even better option, which are even more secure. And other items for the kitchen which you're going to need is cutlery, knives, forks, spoons. But don't also forget your cooking implements, like your wooden spoons, your sharp knives, your tongs, your barbecue tools, or whatever other items you're going to be needing for the food which you're going to cook. Then there's also pans. You're going to need something to cook in. You can use your household pans, but using more specific camping equipment will save you weight and also space. Because they're made out of lightweight material, they can easily pack away generally inside each other. And sometimes it also includes a kettle like the one I have, but I forgot to bring it with me. And additionally, it means that when they are this compact and light, you can take them out and about with you. You can take them down to the beach, on a hike up a mountain, a bike ride, or maybe an adventure out on your paddleboard or your kayak. I've spoken before about my love for the Sandbanks brand, paddleboards and the kayaks, but they have just released the wing foil kits. That looks really, really fun. Not something I'm going to be getting just yet, but take a look at those. They look really good. Anyway, other items that are not only just used in your van are things such as a bottle opener, or maybe you could have some reef flip-flops, which you've got the bottle opener underneath. Had these for many years now. As you can see, I need some new ones, but they're brilliant and perfect for around that solo stove when you need to open a drink. Kitchen basics such as tinfoil cling film. Put those sausages which you didn't eat in the fridge and you can warm them up for your breakfast. Kitchen roll is needed. But what I and many others find helpful is antibacterial wipes, handy and compact, another item to permanently keep in the van, along with bin bags as well. You need somewhere to put your waste when you've used your rubbish. Do you have a bin in your camper van? Do you have a toilet? I know not everybody has a toilet in the van. You might just wish to use it on site, on the on-site facilities, but even so, it's useful to carry some toilet roll with you, just in case. You don't want to be needing to go and not actually have anything to clean up, or possibly just something a little bit softer maybe. Some of the public toilets papers can be a little bit like tracing, it's not much like tracing paper anymore, is it? But it's not the most pleasurable experience. And a torch is also useful because, yeah, we've probably got one on our phones, most of us do, but I use the Nebo range of torches which you've got here, which they just project a far better beam. And when you're in a campsite late at night, or you've parked stealth somewhere, or whatever you're doing, they just provide a much better beam of light than your mobile phone does. Along with other useful stuff are items like a toolkit, maybe a Swiss Army knife, very useful for loads of different reasons. Just get something what's in your budget. Yeah, this is just a cheapy one. A good multi-tool though can become really, really useful. Regarding a toolkit, even if you're not mechanically minded, you don't need to have a great amount, but the basics are really useful. Screwdrivers and the right security bits for your van, they can be really handy to have. Even if you don't know how to use them yourself, you could get somebody else to use them for you. And next on your list should be the water waste container. If you've got a sink in your van and there isn't an onboard wastewater tank, then making sure that you bought one and taking it with you to get rid of that waste. It might only be grey waste, but it still needs to be disposed of correctly. And drying your dishes afterwards, or in the case of having a wash, you're going to need a towel. You could take a normal tea towel with you. For years I did that myself, and then I had a different towel for drying myself. For drying me and the family, I use Dock and Bay towels, and these are absolutely brilliant. They're far, far better than I thought they were. Far superior to the previous microfiber quick dry tiles which I just used to have. But I'm going to be showing more of these in the future. And moving on to some other items outside the van. Something which you're going to need to take to sit on, or maybe sit at, and that's some chairs and a table. You've got tons and tons of choice here, loads of varying different products at varying different budgets. I love the Isabella products, and I also like the Locate table, which is found in many conversions, including this one, the Bespoke Explore conversion. But whatever suits you and whatever suits your budget, just remember that it's the outdoor lifestyle, so you're probably going to outdoors and you're going to be needing something to sit on and maybe eat at. Now, this next item is something that people do get wrong. The products may look the same and may appear to do the same job, but they don't. A windscreen cover on the outside of your van can make a huge difference to the temperature inside your van. The type of this cover can also make a big difference. A black piece of material sometimes can be used, sometimes can be quite sturdy and described as thermal, but it's going to be nowhere near as effective as an insulated cover. I have both, and I only ever use my insulated one. It keeps my van cooler in the summer, and it helps retain heat in the winter. It also helps with the condensation in the winter, and also preventing the windscreen from freezing over. You are going to be paying more for an insulated one, and companies like Rainbow Screens can do nice, beautiful coloured designs, but they are very, very worth it. Trust me, I'm going to prove it in the future. There is a massive difference between the non-insulated and the insulated, but an item that could actually save you a lot of money, and that's actually a dash cam. And yeah, I know it's going to cost you money in the first place when you actually buy it, but in the event of a motor traffic accident, in the event of something happening, then the best witness which you can actually have is video evidence. That video evidence can actually prove whether you was at fault of an incident or not at fault of an incident. And I've seen it myself. I've seen it numerous times. It's just the industry which I'm in that I've seen a lot of these dash cam footages, and I've seen the allegations which have been made against one party, which have totally been disproved by the video evidence. And that's kind of where it saves you money, because if you've got that evidence to fight your case, then take for instance a typical incident which exactly I had myself, hit in a car park and then the actual driver just drove off, no details left. Well, I've got the evidence on my dash cam which actually showed that my vehicle was hit in a car park. It wasn't my fault, and a full recovery could be made from the third party. So for instances like that, it saves you money. The old hit in the rear, where it used to be that obviously if you've gone into the back of somebody, it's obviously your fault because you wasn't driving the safe distance. Well, now with the dash cams, it can see if somebody's just pulled in front of you, then instantly slam the brakes on so you've gone into the back of them. That's not your fault because they've done it on purpose, and the dash cams can prove it. So they are, whether you go for the bells and whistles, the one which does all the extra features and they'll text you when you've got a problem, or just one which records when you're driving, it can save you a lot of money. And that is some basic essential items which you need. But please let me know what I've missed. Let me know what you take with you. And if you are beginning your campervan journey, you don't want to be kicked off a campsite, which you could be. Have a look here to see how you can avoid these potential problems, or have a look here at some amazing campervans. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you soon.